happens here at Powerhouse Gym. So the main thing we really want to accomplish here today is making sure this is informative for everybody. Whether you're trying to learn about competing, you're getting ready for your first time this year, or you know, you're close to a pro card, or some of you just got it recently. And we want everybody to be able to learn something. So we're going to do a lot of Q&A, and we have a lot of amazing speakers. So get that started. Couldn't have a better guest than four-time Mr. Olympia, Cutler. So Jay's going to get started telling you all a little bit about how he got into the NPC and ended up here today.
All right, thank you, Sean, and welcome everyone. It's a great honor to be involved. Once again, I seem to come out every year, and I'm involved in this kind of thing as I work closely with Sean and Steve and his staff. We have a couple of shows in Massachusetts that is where I started. I'm actually from Massachusetts. I live in Las Vegas. I reside there. But a long, long time ago, when it all started, I started training at the age of 18. I knew nothing about bodybuilding besides what was in the magazines, and of course, that's before social media. And I used to sit when I was 12 years old and flip through my sister's boyfriend's magazines. I saw the pictures of Chris Dickerson and Bob Paris and these guys that kind of the old school bodybuilding, what we would call classic physiques, which I'll get to in a little bit about the new divisions. But I had this vision of I wanted to be muscular, I wanted to be a bodybuilder. I just didn't know how to go about it. So I joined the gym my 18th birthday out in Worcester, Massachusetts, and started my quest to actually stand on stage. I competed about 6 months in. I was a very quick gainer. I worked in concrete growing up as a teenager, so I had a pretty rugged physique. And I slowly worked my way into the competition phase, which I knew nothing about. Back then it was, like I said, just magazines, and we didn't have a lot of contests to compete in. So some local guys just kind of took me under their wing and showed me the way, told me what to eat. I followed a 12-week program, and I got on stage for the first time and got second in my first show, and from there I was hooked. And any of you competitors that get on stage, you know what it's like. It's very nervous to get up there and, you know, stand in front of a crowd. You don't know how you're going to do, and sometimes you're unprepared for that kind of thing. But, you know, I slowly learned, you know, to have the confidence. And, you know, I was nervous getting up there, of course, and, you know, hearing the crowd applause and having my friends and family there to support me was awesome. And I think anyone can attest to standing on stage is nothing like it, standing under the lights. And of course, when you do well, that's what really propels you to do better. And that's pretty much what I had, great success. You know, I became a teenage national champion at the age of 19. And from there, I knew I wanted to be a professional bodybuilder. And back then, you were either a woman bodybuilder or a male bodybuilder. There was no in-betweens, there was no bikinis, there was no classic physiques. I mean, it was very few. So our contest at that time, I remember going to the Nationals and winning my pro card at 23 years old, and there was 250 people in the whole show, whereas now the local competitions have that many people. And you go into the Nationals or the USAs or Team Universe where you have 1,000 people. And there's a lot of bodies, a lot of competitions becoming more fierce and, of course, tougher for all divisions. But you know what? It's become a grown interest of a lot of people, no matter what the level is. And now, with the new introduced divisions, there's so many opportunities for so many people. And what I learned through all my years, you know, as I started coming up, being a professional, I was able to, you know, become a contracted athlete, making money. And that's honestly was my ultimate goal, is I wanted to make a living at something I love to do. And it was very easy for me to go to the gym on a daily basis and train and eat on the nutrition aspect because I had a lot of passion for it. And I think everyone sitting in this room can relate, because we all have a certain passion for working out. It really depends on what level you want to go to. And a lot of people, it may not be, okay, I want to reach professional status and be able to stand on the biggest stages in the world. Of course, that was my goal, but maybe it's just to prove something. Maybe it's a weight challenge. Maybe it's to, you know, challenge someone else, a family member, a friend, whatever it may be. But the main thing is, you know, give yourself that preparation. I learned, you know, a 12 to 16 week diet routine, got me in the best shape to stand on stage. And of course, I wanted to do it at the highest level, so I started networking, I started communicating, and remember, this was going to events. This wasn't just, through social media. You guys can open up and watch your favorite person train on a daily now. You can go to YouTube channels, you can go to social media, whatever, Insta stories, Snapchats. It's about putting out the content and building your career and developing the relationships. And what I would do is I travel to different gyms. I put myself out there and really just try to communicate with people and learn. And I'd watch people train, watch the routines of others. And that's what made me better, is I was very open-minded to what I did. I wasn't just thinking, okay, I'm the best at what I know what I'm doing, I'm going to go forward and just pursue it this way. So I think I never imagined in a million years I would reach the highest stages. It seems so far when I picked up magazines and there were pictures of Dorian Yates, former Mr. Olympia, of course Ronnie Coleman, who I battled extremely hard. I was second to him 4 times before I won the Mr. Olympia, and I was told I could never do it. That was a huge obstacle for me. And when I overcame that, then I realized, holy shit, I'm the best in the world, what I do. And that was sometimes, even when I was Mr. Olympia, very hard to imagine, because now I had reached the pinnacle, but how was I going to stay there, right? It was about just perseverance, going back to the gym on a daily, challenging myself, still learning different dieting and training techniques. I think that's what's key, is every person is individual to what they do. The routine that works for some may not work for others. And you kind of have to find your own way. But everyone sitting in this room has a huge advantage now, because there's a lot more interaction. We have a lot more people to follow on a much easier scale. So make sure you pay attention to these things. And coming out today and participating and listening to what is going on about the contest, even 2018, listen to the speakers speak about maybe their careers, but I did it all. I mean, I've been retired 4 years, and I started, like I said, at 18. I turned professional 23. I won my first Olympia at 33, which I thought it would be a lot sooner, but I had to overcome a beast of Ronnie Coleman to win that title. And I won it for 2 years. I lost it. I was told I couldn't come back and win it again. I came back and won it 2 more times before I stepped away from the stage, and now focusing on an afterlife, which I'm in the show promotions, and I work in supplements, I do clothing brands, I do a lot of different things outside, but most importantly, I'm still out there because I developed a brand. I became one of those names in the sport of bodybuilding. I became bigger than I ever imagined I would. And a lot of it is being motivated by people like yourself, the young influencers, the older influencers, the people that continue to show up at the events, support, comment, stay involved. So thank you guys for coming out and listening. And if we have any questions, you please ask those questions, because we do have a little time here. Or if you want to ask after, it's okay. And that's it. Any questions, guys? So I'm gonna let everyone else talk, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of questions. But listen, guys, I know you're sitting in a room with a lot of people, but you guys some people came from a very far place to come out to this event. So please make sure, think about what you want to ask, what you came out here for, what was the reason, what's your projected goal. Make sure you guys ask those questions, okay? Because you won't want to regret it later when you can't ask, okay? So thank you, guys.